All right, my fellow agents, welcome back. It is I, X7, your host of Zenorama, the podcast of heroes and monsters. And today is Wednesday, which means we are going to review a book. And it's not a book about dinosaurs, though some people say that the creature came from the antediluvian period. But he's not really a dinosaur because he's not a reptile. Be that as it may, we're going to be talking about a book called Directed by Jack Arnold. But before we get too much further into it, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the book, what you think about the man and his movies. I think he directed a lot of really great stuff. Sorry that the book gives, well, spoiler alert, but I'll tell you in a minute. So, are you ready? Let's dive in. Proudly sporting my Hellflower shirt. I'll let them know they're mentioned here. So there's the book, my copy of it, along with my bookmark that's 40 plus years old. Came from the, that guy, everything that can go wrong will go wrong. But I used a lot of them, the ones I thought were the funniest as bookmarks. So the book itself, I don't remember the name of that law. Somebody let me know in the comments, will you? Written by Dana M. Reeves, forward by Forrest J. Ackerman. It's first published in 1988. And it is a McFarlane book. There's the back of it. I have a lot more McFarlane books than I would have thought. And so it runs about 250 pages, more or less. It's almost all black and white pictures. There's some stuff from The Incredible Shrinking Man. And, it's got more from The Incredible Shrinking Man, which is, I'll admit it, not my favorite of his movies. I've seen it several times, more than many of the ones in here, but he did so much more stuff than you'd know. The book does give short shrift to his television accomplishments, which were many and kept him working and, being able to feed his family. He did all sorts of episodes, Wagon Train and Monster on, World of Giants. Oops, I don't want to go. Wagon Train. It's always going somewhere, but never got there. Come on, go back. Well, anyway, we'll talk a little more about that later on. So, here's the book. Let's get into the review. All right, so there's the cover of my book that you just saw, making this picture kind of redundant. Inside there, a portrait of the man himself. Can't believe this book's almost 40 years old. I mean, it was written after he passed, so they could have done an addendum with stop motion dinosaur sequence and matte paintings for the Lost World. Did I miss that altogether? What number? What number does that say? 213. This goes right into filmography. 221. I'm going to look again here. No, it's just there's a couple pictures. We have pictures, but there's not. I thought there might have been some that I missed. All right. There's the Forey word. Very clever, as Foreys want. So we didn't. I didn't show you everything. If you want, the book's still available. It's easily available. It's not inexpensive, but not super expensive either. There's the director at a wee young age himself, hand cranking all sorts of things. So he's just getting started. And I've not seen any of these movies, but we jump right into, of course, one of his most famous ones, and what kind of pigeonholed him into being a quote unquote sci-fi director, which, not the worst thing. His TV shows also started right away. Peter Gunn, World of Giants. Let's see. Anything else in here? Science fiction theater. I almost said double feature, but I did not. But yeah, he did a lot of that. But did a lot of television. He just kept himself busy, and was a got what he needed to do and did it well. Super. I mean, when I talked about he did not direct The Creature Walks Among Us, but he got his friend the job. And I think he kind of helped out. But he did Nanny and the Professor, Love American Style. Of course, he directed Perry Mason and The Brady Bunch, and he did 26 episodes of Gilligan's Island. So I'm not surprised that um, he was used again in Brady Bunch. But Ellery Queen, Wonder Woman, one episode there, The Bionic Woman. You name it, he probably did it in the 70s. However, we're going to talk mostly about his movie. Well, we're not even going to talk about his movies. It's just a fine book. And I did not flip this. How annoying of me. There we go. So unused scenes, or that's and here's a pre-production sketch of the original Xenomorph, which looks pretty good to me too. I mean, a little more mysterious than what we got. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't like it. There's a gangster movie with Edward G. Robinson, the one that Emerald sounds like. Yeah, 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 say, hit the bricks. And then, of course, we get to probably his most famous movie, The Creature from the Black Lagoon, which I've reviewed already. Some behind-the-scenes shots, which I really like. There's a running 17 minutes. Now, these were really nice home movies. I've seen a couple of them, so they did a really good job condensing the movie. And there's Millicent Patrick, who they say one of the Gilliman's designers. Nowadays, they'd give her pretty much full credit. But of course, this was 40 years ago, so keep that in mind. I like these pre-production sketches for Revenge of the Creature, how they got him to jump up there. Oh, a springboard. Well done. Now, and then just a picture of the cat from The Incredible Shrinking Man. And we just reviewed Tarantula last Sunday. And this is from the 8mm home movie. And I don't remember seeing this shot in the movie, but I could have missed it. This is from the trailer, of course. And there he is on set with our leads. And he worked with a lot of big stars, Audie Murphy, just tons of them. I mean, you name it, he worked with them. Bob Hope's in here. And he's such a good director. I mean, he got things done on time and generally under budget. So, and with the special effects movie, that was time is money. Time is money. 15 episodes of The Brady Bunch. How about that? The Lady Takes a Flyer. That's with Lana Turner. I've not seen a lot of his other movies other than his genre stuff. I've probably seen his Perry Mason episodes, because who hasn't? And my sainted mother's probably seen his Rawhide episodes because she likes a young Clint Eastwood a little too much there. Lady Takes a Flyer from 1957. We head right into there's the Monster on Campus. I like the fact that the book goes in chronological order. Sometimes biographies and especially autobiographies skip all over the place, which is all right, as next week's book does, but the author explains why, and that's enjoyable as well. High School Confidential, never seen it. Space Children, I've seen parts of it. I think I've seen the whole thing, but if I have, it's probably been 40 years as well. If I remember, it used to be on the USA Network a lot. For some reason, this one showed up, but I could be misremembering. We'll see the trailer here at the end. So, young Bud Brewster. Oh, The Mouse That Roared. I've seen the beginning of. We're clear into 1959 here, which worked with Peter Sellers. There he is, right there, learning to shoot. And there's his wife, Betty. Chats with Gene Seberg and Mr. Mrs. Walter Shenson, producer's wife. More behind the scenes shot for the Mr. Lucky television. Now, this is pretty much all they say about that. They don't have pictures of any of the Brady Bunch or Gilligan's Island or what have you. Um, there was still a bias probably, and maybe they didn't want to write about the uh, the TV shows. I should have included the Gilligan's Island book that the professor wrote because that's a good book. We're going to review that. There's Bob Hope and some kid, uh, twins Denise and Danielle Monroe. And then they get into the 80s because after that, he went into television, but he had a proposal for The Lost World in the mid 80s, probably. And you can see the dinosaurs are no longer tail draggers. They don't have feathers, of course, and I mean The Lost World, the Arthur Conan Doyle Lost World. And look at this. This is the actual end of The Lost World, which is not very terrifying. They do call it a pterodactyl, even though it's obviously a small pteranodon. And there he is now that he's, he got sick, which is why he couldn't do pitches for The Lost World himself. But there he is at sci-fi science fiction conventions, 1982. And he was in this movie I've never seen. I say that a lot, Into the Night, with a very young Jeff Goldblum and Michelle Pfeiffer. He's starred in that. He was actor too. Into the Night is 1985, so that was before Michelle was Catwoman. And he was, and with these hands, he was a communist agitator. All right, and there he is behind the scenes. I just swiped this from some page there, and just because it had three of his great movies, and I'm assuming maybe that would be The Incredible Shrinking Man, which he covered up all of there. He passed away in 1992. He was a good 10 years older than his wife Betty, who passed away let's do the math here, 20 years later. So, but that's their grave site. And I just like ending with this shot because I think it's wonderful, which makes me think, it is from The Creature Walks Among Us. You heard me talk about it. But it's just like, thanks, Jack. I appreciate you. You were a big influence on my growing up. Obviously, I've reviewed 3 or 4 of your movies already, and we'll do more. And we might even get to Gilligan's Island at some point. But the creature's saying goodbye to Jack, goodbye to us. And there's the end of the book. So really, he was saying goodbye to us. And it's a fun book. And like I said, it's not too terribly expensive. McFarlane books are not cheap. But I don't know this doesn't even have a price tag on it. I can't believe first published 1988. I don't know if this one. Yeah, so he was still alive. So I'm glad she got to talk to him and do all that fun stuff. All right, my fellow agents. Short review because it's a great book. You can buy it on Amazon or at any of your local bookstores. Have them order it for you. And until our next assignment, tomorrow with the Land of the Lost, this is X7 signing off and phasing out.
What does it look like?
I can't describe it. The hideous part of it is it's making the children obey its every command. The children are completely in its power.
And we're in the power of the children.
Space Children, spreading a network of terror through a top-secret missile base in a nation's desperate hour of decision. Space Children, the dangerous pawns of a power so strange that no sentries can stop them.
Why did you let those children inside here?
Not too warm, and what children?
Stop him! No rocket can rise anywhere in the world.
4, 3,
2, 1, fire!
No army can destroy them.
Get those kids out of there!